Many journalists are afraid of reporting on science and technology. You know what? They think these subjects are either too complicated for them to understand or too boring for the audience. To an extent, their thoughts are true. But keep in mind that with the proper preparation and by following a few simple rules, reporting science and technology can be one of the most interesting jobs a journalist can ever do. As per the definition, science is the organized study of man and the universe by means of observation, measurement, and experiments. Scientists try to find the rules which govern the universe. Technology is the practical application of science. Although there is a distinction between them, science and technology overlap in so many ways. Just because there is so much more knowledge available, scientists are forced to specialize in particular areas to keep pace with advances. Science and technology today range all the way from basically theoretical subjects such as quantum physics to more practical subjects like medicine, agriculture, and engineering. Some subjects, such as agriculture and medicine, have everyday practical benefits for mankind. Others, such as astronomy, help us to understand our universe but do not have an immediate practical effect on us. And there's a host of other fields such as physics, chemistry, zoology, marine biology, geology, ecology, medicine, psychology, mechanical, and electrical engineering, and the list is enormous and growing every year. So let's talk about the challenges facing by the journalist. Here, you are a bridge between the world of science and your community or your readers. You do not need to know as much as the scientist, but you simply need to be able to put the relevant part of their knowledge into words which your audience can understand. And as a reporter, you do not have to understand the whole of any field of science yourself, but you must not write anything you do not understand. If you write something you do not understand, you taking risk. You might make errors. The aim of scientist is precision, and here the aim of a journalist is simplicity. You must be able to express their precise details science accurately in simple terms so as to it become understandable for the common people or for the common readers. For example, most science and technology will have a human applications, like how it will affect my readers or it will contribute to my listeners' lives. So, as a journalist, your job is to describe what those effects are, what kind of influences those scientific findings may impact. But some science such as astronomy, they have no impact on our everyday lives, but it is interesting in what it tell us about our universe and to tell those things to our readers. Keep in mind, you must always be accurate because science is built on accuracy and your readers require accurate information. Your readers or listeners usually trust science. Often in fields such as medicine, their lives may depend on it. So, you should not alarm them by making sensational claims which may not be true, especially during this COVID pandemic time. So, before reporting science and technology, let's listen to these tips. Science and technology is a huge field. Each subject usually has some basic rule which govern it. And if you understand those basic rules, you will be able to work out the rest of the topic. So a good high school education in science should give you enough knowledge of the basic rules to get started. After that, you must take every opportunity to increase your knowledge. Then the next thing you have to do as a science and technology reporter, read widely. Read books on basic science. Avoid textbooks which are too complicated. Instead, look for books which explain their subject in simple terms for ordinary, non-scientific readers. Ask people expert in each field for advice on the best book for your needs. Something clear, something simple. Then the next thing you have to do is make enormous contact. Get to know as many scientists. The other thing you have to do is building trust because many scientists do not trust journalists because they may not think you are capable of reporting their work properly or they may have had a bad experience with a journalist in the past, like they have been misquoted or seen errors in similar stories. So you have to show that you have to convince them that you can be trusted. and you have to convince them that you know the basic fact about their field and you can understand. Much of science is built on experiments and trial and error method. In many fields, a number of scientists may be working on the same topic and may reach different conclusions. They are often competing against each other to be the first with a result. They may occasionally make big claims to show how important they are to justify money being spent on their research. So don't trust. You have to dig for the real. You have to dig for the. Sometimes science and technology companies will offer you all sort of free samples, advices, and even prepared news stories to promote their product. Always question their claims and always balance what they say by seeking and reporting opposing views. Drug manufacturers and research companies are increasing offering television journalists ready-made and professionally packaged news report. Always keep your journalistic ethics and morals while working with these kind of people. So, while writing about science and technology, keep in mind that scientific names and technical terms called jargon are necessary for scientists. It enables them to speak more accurately to one another about things they have in common. But your ordinary readers and listeners will not understand jargons. It is your duty to understand those jargons and translate them into simpler terms, to a simpler term which is comprehensive to the common people, common readers. Always remember you are the bridge between the scientist and the readers or listeners. Where possible, you should explain the jargon and language your audience will understand. To do this, you will need to understand the scientific terms yourself. And while writing, do not overload your scientific stories with large numbers or lots of figures. You should round figures off to make them simpler to understand. And please write brightly. Your audience will not like long, boring explanations. And they get tired of concentrating on lots of fact and figures. So you should develop a bright style of writing. And never sensationalize a story. State the fact in a clear, simple, and interesting manner. And you must include background details in your report. Very few new scientific or technological developments happen by accident. Most are the result of work over time. Discoveries may come suddenly, but they usually come because a scientist is looking for something anyway. So, you must include those background details too in your report. And in case of very complex scientific articles, please try to provide illustrations. In newspapers and on television, pictures or diagrams can say very quickly and what it might take you 1,000 words to describe. And you can add clever caption towards those. And those diagrams should be simple and well drawn. If you report, while reporting science and technology, our main objective as a reporter is to make our audiences understand these complicated scientific findings, scientific information in a very bright and clear way.